Hello guys, I am Agathor and welcome to a guide to the long-awaited VSS Vintorez in DayZ Standalone. First seen in Experimental 0.56, the VSS has made a return in Experimental 0.59 and will likely make it into Stable 0.59. VSS roughly translates as Special Sniper Rifle and looks like the demon lovechild of the Dragunov mixed with the AK family. The VSS can only be found at Russian heavy crash sites and uses the newly added SP-6 rounds. These SP-6 rounds spawn in general military locations and can be found in 20 round ammo boxes like these, which don't look to be spawning in Experimental 0.59, or inside 10 round magazines used by the VSS. The VSS spawns with a fixed suppressor and a newly added detachable PSO-11 scope as standard, which is the same model as a PSO-1 scope but has a slightly different reticle. The major difference between these scopes is that the PSO-1 scope zeroes up to 1000 meters, whereas a PSO-11 scope that comes with the VSS only zeroes up to 400 meters. However, you can attach the PSO-1 scope to the VSS, and if you so choose, the cashstand scope can also be used as a scope on the VSS. The only other attachment for the VSS is the Giddy gun wrap, which, with how low the iron sights are on the VSS, will likely interfere with your aim. The VSS or 10 round mag cannot be spray painted black or green, cannot be sawn off, doesn't allow the attachment of the bipod, and does not fit inside a backpack. Here is the reload animation of the VSS. The VSS only has one fire mode, full auto, and is the only sniper rifle in DayZ to have full auto as a fire mode, making the VSS the best sniper rifle in close quarters combat. The VSS fires 10 rounds per second and has a low amount of recoil, making it very easy to control and keep targets in view while sniping, compared to most other sniper rifles in DayZ. However, because the VSS fires 10 rounds per second and only has a maximum magazine size of 10 rounds, the stamina of the VSS is on par with an MP5K with a 15 round magazine during full auto fire, meaning if you don't put your enemy down in the first second of spray in close combat, you will likely lose the firefight versus most automatic weapons in DayZ Standalone. Another disappointing fact is that 3 out of the 4 members of the AK family are slightly more accurate than the VSS, even though the VSS is a sniper rifle, giving the VSS an effective range of roughly 550 to 600 meters, given that you have the PSO-1 scope attached, so you can zero that far out. One major benefit of the VSS, however, is how the SP-6 rounds are subsonic, and seeing as the VSS comes as standard with a built-in suppressor, it stands out as the quietest long-range weapon in the game, because you won't hear any cracks. Even the Sporter 22 with improvised suppressor makes more noise than the VSS at most distances. Now, I hate to bash a beautiful weapon such as the VSS, but that feature alone is also the biggest flaw of the VSS. The SP-6 rounds used by the VSS are the second slowest travelling rounds in the game, just after the .45 ACP rounds, and the SP-6 rounds have a huge amount of air friction while travelling through the air. So after around 100 to 200 meters, the SP-6 bullet becomes the slowest moving bullet in DayZ Standalone, making sniping moving targets extremely difficult due to the delay between firing the round and the bullet's impact. To give you a comparison, the 7.62x54 rounds used by the Mosin NSVD travel 3 times faster than the SP-6 rounds, with a fired 7.62x54 bullet travelling roughly 600 meters in 1 second, where an SP-6 bullet travels just 200 meters in 1 second. That said, I wouldn't recommend trying to snipe moving targets past 200 meters with the VSS unless your target is stood perfectly still or you're feeling MLG Pro. Another comparison to high caliber rounds is that the SP-6 round has a very high chance to ricochet and a low amount of penetration, pretty bad for a sniper rifle, meaning if you're going to shoot through surfaces with the SP-6 round, I would only recommend shooting through very thin surfaces at steep angles. On the plus side though, the SP-6 round is the third most powerful round in the game, after the 7.62x54 round and 308 round, so hitting the torso or head of a target at any distance will likely mean a one-shot kill, no matter how much protection your target has. With all of this information, statistically the VSS is the worst sniper rifle in DayZ Standalone and isn't great in close combat either compared to most automatic weapons out there due to its low stamina. Its rarity then is way too high for the reward of actually using this weapon, and if we don't see a 20 round mag variant for the VSS soon, it will likely become another vanity weapon below the ranks of superior weapons in DayZ. The only two benefits of having the VSS is how quiet it is and how it packs an almighty punch. A special thanks to Danny Plays for donating the VSS for science. He has some footage of the VSS in combat here. Thank you for watching, and I am dubbing the VSS as silent but deadly.